Hi, Taurus and Taurus Rising. Here is your horoscope for April 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, you know we're in the middle of a massive shift last month with the eclipses. And of course, you know that we're beginning the month with Venus, your ruler, in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde. And they seem to be conjunct the North Node and Saturn right here in the 11th house. So many of you are questioning what direction you need to go in, or maybe something from the past is resurfacing, and you're in this hold pattern. But there are some nice alignments that are taking place here this month that will propel you forward, especially the second half of the month when the sun leaves Aries and goes into your sign. So this is your time of the year. This is your month, and the middle of May is your month. So there is going to be a tremendous amount of opportunity that's going to be presented to you this month to change in some way. Some of you may be considering moving. Some of you may be considering leaving relationships. Some of you may be changing careers. This is all on the table this month. And this really has a lot to do with the eclipses from last month, because there was a lunar eclipse in Virgo, right here, the 5th house of creativity. So something is ending or completing, or you come to a realization about something. And then the new moon was in the 12th house of Aries, the self. And again, this indicates a possibility of an ending or a completion or going on a new path. And so these are the energies that are setting the stage for something new coming into your life. And so this is going to be the theme. Now, Venus is going to go direct this month, which is going to be helpful. Mercury is going to go direct this month, which is going to be helpful. And Mars is going to leave Cancer and go into the 4th house. And I'll talk about that shortly. But as we begin the month, as you can see here, Uranus is still in your sign, revolutionizing how you do things and, trying to break old habits. And this is going to continue to be the theme this month: breaking old habits, letting go of stuff that you cannot control, or that's not working for you anymore. So you're going to have to come to these realizations. The second half of April definitely looks a lot better, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But as we start off on the 7th, Mercury comes out of its retrograde. There it is in stationary position. And Mercury in Pisces is kind of foggy, confusing, and not sure, but notice the North Node is aligned to it. So as we start off on the 7th, you might feel destined to go in a new direction. You might feel destined to try something new. You might be feeling the itch, or you might be seeing it coming, okay? You don't necessarily have to act upon it, but with this 4-way conjunction going on here, you might feel motivated to do something different. Let's put it that way. Or a friendship, an organization, a club, an idea about the future could be right in line with this Mercury going direct. So keep that in mind. Now, the full moon in Libra is going to be a little tricky on the 12th and the 13th, right here in the 6th house of work and service and daily routine. Now, because it's Libra is ruled by Venus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there is absolutely something to do with a partnership or a relationship that has to be addressed here on this full moon. So either there's a relationship that's not working for you anymore, or you're needing to, look over a contract or an agreement, or there's something to do with a health matter, health care, all of that stuff, because the 6th house falls under that umbrella. But generally speaking, it has a lot to do with relationships. So maybe there's somebody in your life that's not doing too well. It could be a family member, could be a friend, could be a lover, could be a business partner. So we've got to keep an eye on all of this, because this is going to be, or can be, a little tricky around this full moon. It just means it's bringing things to light, might bring in a little tension, okay? Because the sun is opposing the moon at this time. So this could be a little irritant, let's put it that way. So keep that in mind. Now, as we continue on, actually it's like a couple hours later, right after that, Venus goes direct. Actually, it's less than an hour later, Venus goes direct in Pisces right there. And so as you can see here, there's still this tight conjunction going on. So whatever this full moon is bringing up, you might be able to resolve it very quickly here. Now, Venus moving direct in Pisces is very, very beneficial. So that vision that you had on the 7th may start to come to fruition, or you meet somebody new. somebody's willing to help you, something changes in your personal life, or something to do with a community, a group, an organization. This could be the theme. But as Venus picks up speed, it will absolutely benefit you in some way. Could have to do with finance. It could have to do with relationships. It could have to do with vision for the future. So, don't discount anything, because it can manifest very quickly now that your ruler is going to be in direct motion. Now, on the 16th, Mercury re-enters Aries. Now, remember, it was in retrograde for a period of time, went back into Pisces. Now it re-enters Aries, and it runs right into Neptune right there. So talk about visionary ability, creativity, dreams being very, very vivid. This could be very beneficial for you people that are artists or musicians, but it could also give you a glimpse into the future. So I would really pay attention around the 16th or so, maybe even the 17th and 18th, for this Mercury alignment with Neptune, but also making a favorable alignment to Pluto. So you may see glimpses of what's to come in your personal life, and so you need to take advantage of that in some way. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now we also have Mars re-entering Leo on the 18th, and there it is right there in the 4th house. Now, Mars was retrograde for the longest period of time, since December, and it started off in Leo, then went back into Cancer. Now it re-enters, Leo. And the 4th house has to do with the home, the feelings, foundation, real estate matters, anything to do with your current environment. And so this is going to be a top priority for many of you over the next 6 weeks or so, as Mars makes its way through this 4th house. So many of you are going to be itching to do something different. Maybe you want to move. Maybe you want to remodel the house. Maybe you're dealing with family dynamics, family drama. That's very possible with the Mars in the 4th house. So this could all be on the table this month. But one thing's for sure, as we get closer to the Sun entering Taurus, you are absolutely going to feel motivated. And that happens on the 19th into the 20th, right there. The Sun enters Taurus, and now you're like, I need to take charge of my life. I need to move forward. I need to move forward with this project. I need to move. I need to change in some way. And so the energy level starts going up as the Sun makes its way through the 1st house of identity and self. So there's definitely a lot of motivation here taking place the 2nd half of April. But there's more. This is a very tricky alignment that we have to keep an eye on, because Mars will be opposing Pluto. There it is at 3 degrees, and the Sun will be making a T-square into this. So this, from the 20th to the 26th, can be a little tricky with regards to family dynamics and career. Could be a little tricky having to do with real estate matters, the home environment, your feelings towards someone or something could be on the table here. So keep this in mind. This T-square is going to be very powerful, very strong. And, anytime Mars is opposing Pluto, it's usually a little friction is in the air. Let's just say that. But on the positive side, it could motivate you to change, to do something new, to change something. It could have to do with career or your home life in some way. So keep that in mind. Not necessarily all, negative. It's when these alignments occur, they actually could help propel us forward in some way. And we're also seeing Venus and Saturn closely aligned here. So something new could be developing during this time that could be quite beneficial to you, okay? But by the end of the month, we have this wonderful new moon in Taurus right here in the 1st house of identity and self. It's going to be at 7 degrees of Taurus. So wherever that is in your actual birth chart, that's where you want to focus your attention there. And so this one is really got you reinventing yourself completely in the next 2 weeks. And it's basically saying, okay, I need to change. I know I need to change. I need to, how people see me, how I do things, how I work, how I do my business, how I look. Maybe you're changing your hairstyle. Maybe you're buying new clothes. All of this stuff, because the 1st house represents the self. It's how others see you. It's how you present yourself. It's the house of motivation. And so with a new moon in this part of your chart, it's like, I need to change something new. I need to bring in something new. I need to be more innovative in some way. Now, Uranus is also there, as you can see here, 26 degrees, making favorable alignments to these planets right here. So I would say, keep an eye out for any opportunities that come your way, because it could be something that looks really good, and then you have to take advantage of, or it could involve an investment of some kind, whether it's time or physical effort or money or whatever it is. But it absolutely looks like something beneficial coming your way at the end of April. Okay? So there's the overview, the general overview for the month. Now, if you want to know more, I do an extended version of this in my Inner Circle community, as you can see here from this slide. I do not just the extended version, I do a weekly astrology overview, which gives you an overview of what the alignments are doing for the week. And so that's very beneficial. A lot of the members do enjoy that. But I also do the Zoom calls every Sunday. So if you have your birth chart, you want me to take a quick look at it, we do that on Sundays. I usually have 3 or 4 or 5 charts, and I just go over some of the details with the people in the community as I'm teaching them the astrology. So it's quite beneficial for the members, and they do enjoy it. So, if you want me to take a look at your chart, you consider joining. There's a 7-day free trial, so there's no obligation. And so you could look around and see if it's for you. And, I also teach astrology there. So this could be something that could benefit you, okay? As you're going through this change, this could be a place where you find people that are like-minded. Anyway, have a great month, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.